dear viewers, you're welcome to today's episode on CHATROOM on FRANKTV. My name is Goodness Gladson. On this show, we deal with trending issues. And today's trending issue we're going to be talking about is rape. Sad, right? I know. Well, we're specifically going to talk about no is no. I won't be doing this alone. I have with me a guest in the house, so just sit back and enjoy. You're welcome on the show. Okay, here with me we have a beautiful, gorgeous damsel in the house who's supposed to be my guest. She goes by the name Vicky.
Hello.
Hi Vicky, you're welcome on the show.
Thank you very much.
You look beautiful. I like your necktie.
Thank you. You look good too.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thanks.
Okay, so this is CHATROOM on FRANKTV.
Okay.
So today's topic is rape. Oh, that got to you.
Yes, because this issue is something that has been on the net, on everybody's lips, and it's really something that has hurt a lot of people.
Of course. And then we're specifically going to be talking about no is no.
Exactly.
You know, I get to hear people say every single time. I've heard someone particularly tell me that a lady could tell you no, and then what she actually means is yes. Like her body language tells you yes, she's in, but then she tells you no.
Well, I believe they are just trying to justify
their actions.
Right? But the fact is that if somebody says no, even if her body action is telling you yes,
you should be more concerned about
obey the no.
Of course.
So that there will be no case of he raped me later on.
Okay, but what can you say? What can you define rape to be? Let's start from there so we could know how to channel our conversation today.
Okay, I understand rape to be a forceful, that is somebody who has sex with another person that is the opposite sex by force. And if the person is not willing to do it with you, but you still have your way forcefully, it's called rape. If the person is not consenting to it and the person tells you no and you still decide that you must have your way, whether by drugging the person or by beating up the person to just have your way, it's still called rape.
So I think one key word we should look out for when it comes to rape is consent.
Yes,
because when one party is not consenting to being intimate, then I think that automatically becomes rape.
Yes.
Okay, so whether it's your wife, whether it's your husband, whether it's your girlfriend, or whatever it is.
Whoever the person is, even if the person is your wife or your husband, if the person is not consenting to it and you force your way into the person, then it's called rape.
Okay, so that brings us down to the kinds of rape we have.
Yeah.
Because the rates of rape these days in society is becoming very alarming.
It's almost becoming like part of the everyday society.
Becoming a norm. Which shouldn't be ordinarily.
Exactly. It's not supposed to be a normal thing. It's something that destroys people emotionally and it's supposed to stop.
Of course.
People are not to make it a normal incident.
Okay, so quickly I'm just going to list out a few types of rape and we're going to discuss on just 3. We have the date rape, we have the gang rape, we have the spousal rape, we have the serial rape, we have the child's rape, we have the prison rape, we have the payback rape, and several others. Just name it. But like I said, we're going to discuss on about just 3 because of time. And the first we're going to talk about is date rape. This kind is very common in our society, especially with young ones. You know, people don't even see it as though it is rape.
Yeah.
Okay, this type involves perhaps friends, you know, persons of the opposite sex, or perhaps people who are even in a relationship, but
or even those married.
No, let's not even go so far.
Okay.
So perhaps they don't get to have so much excuses. Let's just narrow it down to people who are in relationships, okay? And then one party is saying, I want a platonic relationship.
Yes.
Or perhaps you're inviting your female friend over for a date, perhaps dinner or something, all right? And then you know very well that this person wouldn't want to consent to sex.
Yeah.
And then you add drug or whatever it is to their food or drink, and then this person just blanks out.
Yeah.
And you have your way. I mean, that is like having sex with a dead person.
Well, I believe that is their own way of getting the person to have sex with them, because like you said, they know the person would not consent. So in order to avoid the violence and everything, they just decide to drug the person, which is also wrong.
Very wrong, because some of these drugs are so hard that they could go as far as tarnishing the lady's womb
and
forever.
She'll not be able to give birth to any baby at all if God doesn't intervene in her case.
So imagine ruining somebody's future just for
a 5-minute
pleasure. I mean, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Okay, now let's talk about the gang rape. This is really terrible. You see a group of guys, attack just one lady, and then brutally rape her. Some even go as far as hitting her, injuring her, and some of them even kill the lady involved. And then ladies also do this.
Exactly.
Ladies also attack men, rape the man, like rape him to death.
There are some stories I've actually heard. It might seem unusual, but the fact remains that there are men that are also raped.
Of course.
I've heard a few of them that have confided in me of how they had to run for their lives. Some of them literally ran out of their houses because the girl was trying to force themselves on him. And they had, because they are men, they had the strength to run. But what of those? For example, when I was in primary school, I heard of a story of one boy that sells granuts along Isabel Park Road.
Okay.
And a few girls gang raped him, and the boy didn't survive. They found his body in one of the potholes the next day. There are so many people who have been victims of this.
Even secondary school students have raped their teachers brutally. I mean, male teachers. Like, after school hours, they ambush him, and a married man. I heard that from a secondary school. I wouldn't mention for camera's sake. A secondary school way back, and then they ambushed this man and raped him. And of course, his wife was just waiting at home for his return. His children were waiting for him to return and, have their time with their father and her husband, and then only for them to get the news that he was raped to death. This is terrible.
Oh God!
Please, if you know that you have the attitude or the habit of raping people for whatever reason, please desist, because if you don't, the law will catch up with you.
You can imagine the kind of emotional trauma that
you threw the person into
would go through, because imagine her hearing that news that her husband was raped to death.
Whatever she says, whatever word she utters, whatever cause she lays, I strongly believe it would really affect those ladies who are directly involved, directly or indirectly. Please do not be an accomplice.
And the funny thing is that there are some men who are victims of this issue, and the society will not believe them.
Yes.
Being that, how is it possible for
a man to be raped? For
a lady to rape a man, can you imagine? And most of them are never believed. But the fact remains that males are being raped, females are being raped, and it's something that should not happen.
Some of these men are not even raped directly. Some of them even get drugged. Exactly. Innocently thinking a lady cannot even harm me, and you just accept gift from her, and then before you know it, you're off. Even little, very young children. You see their parents who leave their male children at the mercy of house helps. Minders and all of that. You just leave your child and hope that you go to work and come back and the child is just the same. And you don't know when your child begins to get sexually active, molested. You don't even know,
because when they introduce it to them, they tell them that it is something normal,
and most of them even go as far as threatening these children.
Yes.
So you can't even, they don't even have the ability, the confidence to even confide in their parents anymore. And most of these parents do not even have enough time to spend with their children to discuss these matters with them. Please, rape is a very terrible. I mean, you could tarnish a person's destiny, a person's future by that one act. You may have even forgotten about it, but the person carries that burden for life. The person carries that pain for life. Some ladies have decided to never get married just because of that few minutes, that 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 10 minutes pleasure you derived.
Some women have even taken arms, targeting the men to kill them,
which is very terrible.
In fact, there's a story of a lady that was raped, and she also contacted HIV.
Oh my God.
She decided that she would also infect everybody with HIV just because of that act of rape. And there are so many people who are virgins, little ones that are still virgins,
and their very first experience is
rape.
rape violently. I mean, okay, just I think recently there was this story on the net about a 2-year-old baby who was brutally raped by an elderly man.
That video destroyed my thinking faculty for that second, because
I was destabilized. I mean, what excuse? That baby doesn't have breasts. Let's just be as raw as that. That baby doesn't. You wouldn't tell me she was wearing a short skirt, a mini skirt, or was wearing a spaghetti top.
How naked can she be?
How naked
for
can
you
she
to be aroused?
An innocent baby playing around, calling you uncle. Where's the conscience of people? I mean, are these people? Are they normal?
I don't think they are.
Honestly,
to be honest, I feel they are being manipulated by one particular spirit that they don't even think anymore. They are no longer human beings. Because for somebody to look at a little baby that has no, as in the baby has no think, as in, I don't understand.
Doesn't even know.
He doesn't know what is going on around them. All they know is just smiles and cuddles. They are expecting you to carry them up and pet them, and what you would do is force yourself.
2 years, two. That can barely even can barely call you uncle. That child can barely speak. The child can barely feed him or herself. The child can barely bathe him or herself.
Can barely even walk.
That child has not been able to run errands yet. That child has not been able to walk. If people are pointing fingers at ladies who are indecently dressed and use it as excuses, and some of them keep saying ladies who wear very loud makeup, that some wear even loud lipstick that lure men, how about these babies? How about old women?
Exactly.
How about
grandmothers,
grandfathers? How about ill people at the hospitals who have probably gone into coma? You go to visit and you rape
someone in coma. Like, how do you even imagine that happening?
I heard a story about someone who went to the mortuary and slept with a dead person.
Okay, that
his reason was not even, it wasn't ritual at all. When they arrested him and they asked him why, his excuse was when she was alive she refused to give him her body rather.
You see why I said
like
no.
He kept asking her, he wanted a relationship with her, he wanted all of her, and then she wasn't willing, she wasn't consenting. And then when she died, he went down and was like, oh, so now see you're laying naked before me, what can you do? And then he stripped naked and slept with a dead body. Who does that?
That's the reason I said they are not normal. Because that person is no longer thinking as a human being.
I mean, it is not nice. Another kind of rape we have is a spousal rape.
Yeah.
People do not even think this is rape. But you see a man return from work and meets his wife really tired from the day's work. Perhaps she has been busy really cleaning, taking care of the children. Just take for instance this period of lockdown where people do not really work. Some persons have been laid off from their workplaces, and then the lady is home taking care of 5 kids, 6 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids, and then you return home and she's tired and you insist on having sex with her. We know that she is your wife and you are her husband, and it is her conjugal right to avail herself, yes, to have sex with you. But then shouldn't there be room for consideration?
Exactly.
You see some men hitting these women terribly. Some of them are even perhaps pregnant, and then you beat her to the point where she gets a miscarriage just because she has refused to have sex with you at that time.
I've even seen a video of a man using iron, this normal iron, to hit the wife. And most of the times I wonder, do you really need to go that far?
What if she dies in the process?
I don't think they care. Because all they want is just have their way, have their satisfaction, and move on.
Even even ladies do this. There are times your husband is maybe down in health and he's not ready, or he's not strong enough to get involved with you, and you insist
and even give him emotional blackmail.
Yes, sometimes there are ladies who beat their husbands. You don't know. There are ladies but these men will not come out in public because they don't want to be termed weak, in quotes. They won't come out to tell people, my wife harasses me, my wife beats me up, my wife forces me to have sex with her, my wife does that, they won't.
Nobody will believe him.
You know, you beat your husband, or you emotionally blackmail him, or you force him somehow. You just get your way and have sex with him. What if he faints in the process?
What if he even dies?
What if he even dies?
Because this body that we are seeing is not as strong as you think it is. It's something that if it doesn't rest, if it's not healthy, it can break down. And if it breaks down, how will you bring it back to life if God doesn't intervene?
Really? So please, married couples, do well to understand your husband and your wife's body language. You don't always have to get your way around things. He is not strong, she's not strong, he's not ready, she's not ready. It's not
even about strength. What of those who are not emotionally ready?
Stable at that point? Please try and understand. Don't ruin your marriage, don't ruin your home with your own hands. Because by so doing, you see, these are some of the reasons why, which is not even supposed to be. Some persons make excuses and say, this is why I'm cheating. My wife doesn't give me peace. My husband doesn't give me peace. You know, when you keep doing this and another man gives her more attention outside, before you know it, she's cheating. When you keep doing this and another woman begins to treat him better outside, before you know it, he's not having as much time as he used to, which is not supposed to be. So please, let us try and understand our spouse. It's very important. They are humans.
And it will also benefit you.
It will.
Yes.
And then, but I think that way you're also going to strengthen your children's morals. You know,
True.
They know that daddy and mommy understands themselves. When they see daddy say, honey, I'm tired, and mommy says, okay, let me get you warm water to massage you. Let me make you hot tea. Let me do this. Let me do that. You know,
Yes.
they go, oh, okay, this is love.
Yes.
They interpret that as love, and then tomorrow when that child is married, she knows how to relate with her husband better.
Exactly.
He knows how to treat his wife better.
True.
So this is what we say, charity begins at home. So I think this brings us to the point of the solution to rape.
Yes.
Because it's not just enough to talk about this problem, because rape on its own is a problem.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not just talking about Nigeria.
Worldwide.
People are, being raped on a daily basis. We just get to hear about a few, because even the ones that fathers do to their daughters do not come out to the public, because either their mothers want to keep their marriages, or
avoid the husband being arrested,
or perhaps the father must have threatened the daughter
not to say anything,
else he would either kill her or something. So what do you think we could do? What do you think the government could do? What do you think the society at large could do to curb rape?
Like you said, charity begins at home. It starts from the home. If the parents are willing to be close to their children and listen to them when they come to them with simple issues, the children will also be confident to come to them with an issue like this. Even if they were touched in any unusual way, they can come and say, mommy, daddy, uncle touched me like this, or there's this brother that used to call me my wife. Or you understand? Because they have confidence.
I don't like that at all.
They have confidence in their parents. They can tell them anything. So much so that even if they are threatened that they would beat them if they tell their parents, they will still go and tell their parents, being that the parents are close to them. You understand? Now, for the government, I'm calling out on the government that they should stop hiding rapists. They should stop hiding rapists, because majority of them are hiding under the cover that the society is giving them excuse of the women were ill-dressed, or they didn't cover up well, or their makeup was seducing them, or one thing or the other, one excuse or the other. The society should not give the rapists an excuse for their action. The government should not cover them. I'm calling on them that they should put this in law, that rapists should be punished severely. Okay, so Vicky, if I get you clearly, you're saying parents should make out enough time, quality time with their children. Yes, they should create this communication relationship, close relationship. Yes. But how about these parents who, let's take for instance a real life, situation. Yes.
a mother had a lady had a child out of wedlock, and then somehow she got married to this man. So having got married, this man in question started sleeping with her daughter. You know, this child she had with another man.
Yes.
He started sleeping with her. And then when the child, tried confiding in the mother to tell her, okay, this is what dad is doing to me, or look at what's going on and all that, she shut her out, like, you don't ever in fact, if I hear this elsewhere, I would kill you. That went on for a while until this child got pregnant in the same house, under the mother's nose. I mean, this is a child you carried for 9 months. You nursed this child into maturity. And then because you felt that marriage was priority, even if I know marriage is important, but then I mean, this is the future of another person. Let's just take away the child factor. This is someone else. This is someone else's future we're talking about here. You keep a blind eye to it. This child got pregnant, and then when she noticed, it was, I think, 3 months thereabout, and then she asked her who is responsible, and she told her, it is that you, I told you. And this woman sent this child out of the house into the streets. A little child of about 15, she sent her to the street. What would become the fate of this child?
In our society, there are several issues when it comes to rape cases.
Just to me,
there are several issues, and majority of them we can't even start imagining how we'll start dealing with them, because there are some things that are unheard of. Like this, your story. We don't even know how we want to settle this issue, or even discuss it, or even give a solution, because if she can't confide in the if she cannot confide in the closest person she has, who else will she talk to? Who else will she run to? I
mean, we're talking about her mother.
Not
just anybody. The one that bettered her. So, okay, please, I think, there are persons who get to hear these stories, but in quotes, mind their business.
Yes.
Some persons don't want to get involved. I don't want issues, or, it's a family thing. I beg, because most times when you report some cases, I know about someone who has reported a case to the police, and the police tells you it's a family matter, so they cannot intervene. So please, if you know anyone who is caught up in this kind of trauma, in this kind of dilemma, do not hesitate to take action. Report, and please, the police, do well to help us. Family or no family, things are going wrong. It could come from the father, it could be from the mother, it could be from blood sister, blood brothers, cousins, nieces, nephews, uncles, aunties, house helps. I don't want to go that far. I'm talking about family now.
Members.
Please intervene. If this kind of cases are reported to your station, please take it up, because this single occurrence could ruin this person's life. I mean, some persons could even go as far as committing suicide.
It doesn't just ruin the person's life. For example, this girl that got pregnant, it ruins her life. It ruins her unborn child's life, because how would she take care of that baby?
She might even give birth to that child and end up hating this child, because the circumstance in which she found herself is not favorable.
And she might even see it as a normal thing to send the child into prostitution.
Please, I'm calling out to civil servants, regular persons in the society, whoever you are, you have a role to play. Do not keep a blind eye. Do not keep deaf ears.
Including neighbors.
If you hear these stories, don't just go about sharing them with other people to feel pity. Don't be among the pity party. What do you think is a due punishment to be met out to rapists?
To me, I believe that the government should put into law that any person that is being convicted for raping any individual should be put in life imprisonment.
Okay.
As the person should not have any parole either. The person should just stay in prison for life. And also, I'm thinking that they should castrate them.
Okay, the rapist should be castrated.
Yes.
Okay, well, in my opinion, because as it is, human beings are usually, they're usually afraid of. Let's take for instance, if you do something,
yes,
and then a very serious punishment is meted out to this person,
yes,
And then if when you want to do such thing, you definitely think about it again, because you wouldn't want same to happen to you. I feel that if somebody rapes, whether a girl or a guy, whoever it is, because I think this rape thing is both ways.
Yes.
If you rape somebody, you should be killed. There should be a place where government takes these people, and just kill them. That would instill fear. You would know that if you get involved in this act, you don't even have like
a second chance.
There's no second chance. You're not going to even be in prison, and then you start thinking about it, or you want to now how do I put it? You want to give your life to Christ. You're dying. In the moment it is heard, you are dying. So when that fear is instilled in people, I'm very certain, whether you see a girl with mini skirt, you see a child who has a fine body who is coming close to you, you see an adult who is in coma, in fact, whoever it is,
whoever you see,
or whatever it is that propels you to rape, when you see it, you would run. I mean, you would run so fast, even much more than your legs can carry you.
Exactly, just to save your life.
Because it's wrong. It's terrible. It's really terrible. These rapists are roaming the streets freely, and then victims are there sobbing and carrying this burden. Some of them even carry it to the grave. Some cannot even talk to anybody about it, because apparently the victims become the ones who are even blamed for whatever shit they went through.
True.
Why were you in this house? What were you doing there at that time of the night? At that time of the day? Why were you dressed in that? I mean,
several excuses, and it's not good to give an excuse for a crime
at all.
Never ever give an excuse for a crime, because a crime is a crime.
A crime is a crime,
and according to law, there is no I don't know,
no excuse, no ignorance. So today we've gotten to the climax of our show, and we just want to know what Miss Vicky has to say to us lastly before we leave.
Well, my opinion would be that once someone says no, you should know no means no, and don't force your way into the person.
Thank you very much, Miss Vicky, for coming around. It is a pleasure having you around.
Thank you for having me.
Once again, this is CHATROOM on FRANKTV. Follow us on all our social media handles at Frank Online TV as displayed on your screen. We're going to be doing this again another time. Please do not stay away. Thank you.